all over the world hire the people they want. We started off actually building this when hiring as contractors. We can talk about those things for hours, but generally, those are the main two ways to hire as contractors, or through different entities. And we basically built the most compliant platform to hire people today as contractors. We're doing a lot more, as we'll probably share a bit later. And we streamline all the compliance and payments part. Basically, the idea here is to give your global team a local experience.
I know you have some news. We're going to save that to the end, the plans and the pipeline. I want to spoil the surprise right now, but just give us a sense of where your team is in the world.
Yeah, that's a pretty fun question. We've actually been hiring pretty heavily. If anyone is looking to help us build this company, it's a lot of fun. We are today in, I think Anya will be mad at me if I get it wrong, but I think we're in 8 countries. So across Serbia, the Ukraine, Israel, the US, the UK, India. So there's quite a few countries here. And it's been a lot of fun having this ability to hire people all over the world and making sure they're happy. And this is what we've been mainly focused on. And yeah, hopefully we'll be hiring in even more countries down the line.
Perfect. I mean, you're compliant in, is it 170 countries now?
No, 120. We're not 170.
Okay. We're going to get there. I just kind of think of it like the future.
Yeah, compliance is really key. I think what most people probably in this room come to understand is that local labor laws are different in every country. And in the US, we have it a little easier, 1099 at the end of the year when it's hiring as contractors. And there's great PEOs like JustWorks that can do the work across states. But as soon as you start hiring in other countries, I'm from France, which for people that might know is probably the worst place to hire in general. So there's lots of strings attached when you hire, and there's lots of regulations around it. Whether you hire through a third party, open a subsidiary, or even work with someone as a contractor. Fun fact, in France, there's over 10 different setups you could have when working for yourself as a self-employed to work for another company, and all those different setups have different requirements and different documents that you need to have to prove that you really have it. And most of the time, our companies, whether they are based in Asia or in the US or that's in the UK, they just want to pay that person. They have no idea what's kind of behind that, and really giving them the ability to mitigate a lot of the risk there and get a chance to do it right, rather than just sending some money to someone somewhere is really what we want to do. And that's the way you should treat your team generally. You want to give them the ability to get paid the way they want, to get paid on time with the rest of your local team, whether you're using Augusto in the US or other tools. And this is what we're really trying to build.
And I want to invite the audience, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in. I know Alex wants to hear from you because he hears from me all the time already. For context, the firm I work for is an investor in Alex. I've known him for so many years now. So we do have a question. One saying, how do you keep up with the changing regulations in all the countries you cover?
So regulations, indeed, they change all the time. If you look at IR35 in the UK, MD5 in the US. So I'm going to talk on the contractor side. The employee side is a bit further down the line. But on the contractor side, things change all the time. Serbia just went through crazy regulation changes. And what we do here is we basically build partnership with local experts. We work with them. We understand what is the right way to set up, what is the best way to as compliantly as possible hire. And we build a very strong relationship with them. What we want is we want to be the first person they call when something happens. And honestly, the current pandemic has put that to the test, right? We received hundreds of emails from our partners saying, hey, this is what changed for Taiwan, this is what changed in Poland, this is what all the different changes that are happening, you should try to implement it. And being on top of those regulations is what drives us, right? Making sure that both sides are doing it right and in the best potential scenario, managing it right.
People view remote work as outsourcing in a way. What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's the hidden truth of the value, right? When you used to hire people outside of your country before, you used to hide it, right? You didn't want to say it. Your investors would be, what? You're outsourcing your tech? Like, that's the core thing of your team. And I think, over the last few years, things have changed radically, right? People understand that talent is everywhere, and you'd be foolish to not want to hire someone that's the right fit and the best person for your company just because they're not within 10 kilometers of yourself, right? So, my take on remote work, on that specific point, actually, what's really important, and that's really key to our company, not only is it like a mindset that has changed for everyone, including investors and entrepreneurs, most of the time what you'll see is people are going to try to build the best experience for their teams. And this is really what we're trying to do here, is empower them and give them the best experience, because they're not yours, so they're your teammates. My teammates, whatever they are, I'll never consider them outsourced. And you want to treat those people right.
And how would you respond to people who really emphasize the importance of like one office being co-located with your coworkers because it's more efficient, or you need to see them, or you need to harass them by turning around and like tap you on their shoulder while they're busy, on coding or what have you?
Well, I'm a little bit less of a, let's say, like crazy about like you must be remote first. And I think being remote first and having an office both has its merits. My view on that is that people work differently. Some people work better in a context where they can have really deep focus and stay in their comfort and get the most of their work done. Working in an office is great. It's always fun to see your teammates, but having this flexibility and liberty is what's really crucial. My view on this is most companies might have an office, might not, and you'll be able to work from wherever is convenient for you. And if you really want to stick to one office, what's very crucial here is you limit yourself to the talents around you. And if you're a company in the Bay Area, most of the time you'll have to compete on talent that might not be as worth it as some great people around the world.
Let's say you've convinced somebody to go remote, right? Like to bring their country or the company remote. Like, what is your advice? How do you set and maintain culture for this remote team that's like everywhere? People may not have met each other. I know you do the offsites, but a lot of people may not have quite connected. So how do you do it? What's your advice?
Well, I'm still learning every day on how to do great companies that help do that. Our take, and I'm very biased. I've actually never worked in an office before. We have an office, I've been a few times, but in my career, I've actually never worked in an office. So I don't actually know what it feels like to build an office. So given that, I think there's a few things. First, the culture is driven by the people. And what we're seeing today is a lot of the people that are willing to work remotely understand and appreciate the idea of being very driven, right? They usually get stuff done. And if you're gonna start employing people that you need to micromanage, it's just not gonna work, right? The de facto thing within remote teams is trust. If you trust your team to get their job done, to get their stuff done, and if you measure output versus input, then this is when you're really gonna strive. That's why a lot of the companies today in the collaborative space work very much like asynchronously. Companies like Notion are building all those tools to do it right, and this is the right way to work remotely. It's how can you build and foster a community and a culture of trust so that you as it starts from the top, right? In the management, do you trust every teammate? Do you feel like you need to make sure that they do their work? Do you worry that they're not working because they're working from home? As soon as you have that mindset, you can build a remote team. If you switch gear and think, hey, I'm hiring the best people, they know what they're doing, and they want to build that great company with me, then your mindset just switch, and you'll be able to really build something that people, a place where people enjoy working at the end of the day.
Got about 5 minutes left, so I wanted to pivot to the future, specifically Deel's future. What is your vision for Deel? And this is this is like I'm prompting you to give your announcement right now.
Well, there's a few things we're building at Deel over the next few weeks that we're really excited about, right? The vision of the company down the line is we want to build the payroll system for remote teams, right? Wherever they're in the world, next to your TriNet, ADP, Gusto, whatever it is you're using locally, we want to be the go-to solution to give your team a really good experience. And I think we've got somewhere so far, right? We've streamlined a lot of the compliance. We've made payments a breeze, allowing people to get their funds not in a Swift, which is what most of your companies are probably paying when you work remotely, but through Revolut, through all TransferWise, all the different companies that we have integrated. And from the payment and compliance point, we're starting to be really on point on helping you work with contractors. Very biased, I'll say we've kind of figured out the whole flow on how to keep you compliant and mitigate a lot of your risk. But what we've seen is that establishing that relationship as you grow might not always be the best, and that that idea of moving towards full-time employment globally and that being a really, really hard challenge is something that we've been looking at for a while. And the way we look at it is, as a company, you want to have that flexibility and that ability to decide how you employ that person. You want to give them great benefits. It's better for them to be a contractor, but we want to give you that flexibility. And this is why, I guess, coming down a little bit more to that announcement, we are going to start on Deel enabling you to hire people as full-time employees. We've basically built an experience that we wanted to use for our own team. It's been months in the making, and we're really excited to ship it and to empower other teams to hire as full-time employees. And I guess the second big announcement is we're actually shipping the fully new relaunched version of Deel. So it's going to be a lot sexier, a lot prettier than it is today. So I'm excited for all our current customers and future users to have a look at it.
Amazing. What's next in that pipeline? I know you had mentioned previously, or at least maybe this is just my memory of your investor updates, but health insurance, benefits, right? Like bringing these people more core to that full-time experience.
Yes, exactly. So, employment is great, and it's going to be, the only limitation to employment is that a lot of the time you'll be limited by a third party, which in that case, we'll be facilitating if you want to do it right. I think the PO model is very interesting. We need to ship it because we want to help our customers from a compliance perspective. But what we're really, really excited about is making people working as contractors on par with employees. And yes, global health insurance with some of our partners. We're shipping lots of other things, like we've shipped early payout globally around the world, where you can get paid 2-3 days early before your payday. And there's lots of other things that are coming in that aspect. And we want to make people working as contractors just as, well, maybe not Silicon Valley, because there's a tendency to spoil people a little bit there, but just as spoiled than anybody around the world working as an employee.
Hi, Sandra. We've got the 2-minute warning. Any last questions? I invite you to put it to the right of chat. But Alex, do you have any closing remarks or any call to action here as we wrap things up?
Well, my only call to action is that it's great to see the remote community foster events like this, and props to the whole team, Joe and Laurel, for creating that event. I'm excited to see all the next events that are going to happen over the next few months and years. Well, if you're going to build a remote teams, there's quite a few hurdles. It's not just what we do, communication, culture, like you said. There's quite a few things, and we're always learning, and we're all learning on our own right now. So I think we should start opening up a little bit and help each other figuring it out. So my main call to action is not going to be check out Deel. It's going to be, if you're building a remote team and you're figuring things out, write to me so we can figure it out together.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alex. My call to action would be, check out Deel. I'll do it for you. It's a fantastic product. I would know because I saw the Figmas and I helped give some input here and there. But thank you so much, Alex. Take care. Stay safe in Tel Aviv. And everyone, thank you for attending. Stay safe wherever you are.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Sandra.